Hello, everybody. My name's Amber. I am a mom and a housewife. Now, those of you who know me know that this isn't the sort of thing that I do. I'm not the kind of person to put myself out there like this, but I just felt compelled to do this. I was laying in bed one night and it just came to me. So I hope you like it. I really hope I don't offend anybody. It's just all in fun, and I'm pretty sure God has a sense of humor. And so please don't send me any hateful comments or death threats or anything, because it's not nice, and I'm pretty sure it's a sin. You might hear my puppy dog or see my cats in this, but what are you going to do? So, let's see. First of all, I consider myself what I call myself a Christian in progress. I try every single day to be a good Christian, and I work really hard at it, and just try to be the kind of person that God wants me to be. I'm sure most people do, and you see, I used to think that I had to sacrifice all my time and all my money and just make these big gestures to show how much I loved God. And, the most important thing was I had to make sure everybody knew about it, because I had to show everybody how devoted I was and how much I loved God. And I wanted them to be really impressed, and I wanted them to admire me. Because in my mind, I thought, oh, if I do all this and God sees how good I am and everything that I'm doing, then, He's going to be so happy with me and so impressed with me, that God's going to be like, wow, look at that Amber. Well, she's definitely going to the top of my going to heaven list. But, I'm trying. I'm working at it. Sometimes I have bad days. Sometimes I have good days. Sometimes I think that, the day that God created me, he woke up and he had bedhead and he was getting a cold and he said, I'm going back to bed. But then he was like, oh, I have to do some creating today, don't I? I have to create a person today or a few, right? All right. There. I know that's not how it works. But anyway, I'm working on it. I even had the brilliant idea I went down to my local tattoo parlor and I got the word faith tattooed across my wrist with a little bitty cross at the end just to make it extra holy. People would really be impressed with that, right? I mean, you wouldn't believe the stuff that I used to do. But I'm getting better. I am. One thing I have to work on is I have a little bitty anger problem. Just a little bit. But I do. I work on that every day. It catches up with me, though. Let me give you an example. I went to the grocery store one day, and I pulled into the back of the parking lot, and there was a parking spot right up front. I mean, there was no handicap sign. There was no handicap painting on the pavement, so it was just like that spot was just for me, It's like you could see the light coming down. You could hear the, oh. I mean, it was just like God was saying, you've been really good today, Amber. This spot is just for you. So I'm going up there. I'm getting up to my spot, driving along. And here comes this lady. She's holding her little girl's hand, pushing a stroller. So I stopped to let her go in front of my truck, because thou shalt not kill. So I let her get in front of my truck, and I'm driving up there closer to that spot, and here comes a little old lady pushing her cart just as slow as can be right down the middle of the lane. I mean, if we were out in the street, it'd be like she was following the yellow line, like she was following the yellow brick road. So I'm just waiting, my polite smile on my face. In my head, I'm sitting there going, look up, look up, look up, so I could give her the little head gesture, hand movement, move over, move over. But finally, she got out of my way, so I'm getting close to the spot, and you know what I'm going to say. Someone whips right into my spot, right in front of me. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if all of a sudden you heard, you're not Amber. Big old hand comes down, it's like, whoop. I know that's not the way it works. It'd be really funny, wouldn't it? So, I could just feel the anger bubbling up inside of me. And when that happens, I have something that works for me, works really well. There's a song that I can sing. It just calms me down, evens me out, I start singing, Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Alright, you get the idea. Anyway, I usually just get through the first verse and I'm good. I'm calm, I'm relaxed, everything's good. And so I did that. I was like, fine, that's fine, whatever. You know, she probably needed the space more than I did. So I did find a parking spot all the way to the back of the parking lot, but that was fine, whatever. It's okay. You know, I mean, it's the end of April in Pennsylvania. It's spring. It's a beautiful 41 degrees out, so I didn't mind walking the entire length of the parking lot to get into the grocery store. So anyway, I get into the grocery store and I'm doing my shopping and all of a sudden some guy comes whipping by me, runs right over my foot with his shopping cart, right over my foot. I mean, there comes the anger again. So I start singing Amazing Grace again, in my head, not out loud. I mean, I love God and that really works for me, but can you imagine me belting that out in the middle of the produce department? It'd be like, look at that. The zucchini must be really good today. You know, so anyway, calms me down, makes me feel better. And I get angry a lot though. A lot. I mean, I find myself singing that so much that it kind of works its way into my everyday conversation sometimes. You know, I mean, I called my mom up one time and we're talking and I said, how are you doing today, Mom? And she said, I'm doing great. She said, it's a beautiful day. I think I'm going to go for a walk. And, you know, I said, Amazing Grace, Ma. And she said, yeah, and then I think I'm going to go over and visit my friend. We're going to have coffee, and she makes the best coffee cake you've ever tasted. And I said, oh, how sweet the sound. Yum, coffee cake. So, but no, I know, I made my mom sound like that little old lady pushing the cart, but she's not. My mom is an amazing lady. I mean, she went back to college at age 40. She became an LPN, and then an RN, and then something fancy, I don't know what it was, but it was really impressive, believe me. And at age 50, she found out she had breast cancer, and she kicked its butt. And, you know, technically, she's a senior citizen. I mean, she goes bowling, she goes golfing, she goes shopping a lot. And you believe my mom goes out in the front yard every morning, and she hula hoops to stay in shape. Every morning, she goes out in hula hoops to stay in shape. Now, I know what you're thinking. The nut doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? But she hula hoops in the backyard, not the front yard. I mean, can you just imagine her out there hula hooping away, neighbors walking by, she's like, oh, hi, Fred, hi, Mary, how you doing? And they'd be like, just keep on walking, just keep on walking. But no, she's an amazing lady. I love her so much, and she really inspires me every day, too. So I do have 2 children, 2 teenagers, God help me. But they're good kids, they really are. I mean, I love them so much. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to force religion on you. I'm not going to make you go to church. I'm not going to make you read the Bible. It's your decision. You make up your own minds what you want to do. I know that God has a plan for them, so I'm not worried. But I do encourage him sometimes, give him a little nudge. You know, the one day my daughter came downstairs and she was looking nice, and I said to her, look how beautiful you look. I said, you look just like Joseph and his coat of many colors. And she kind of gave me a look, and I said, don't you remember that story? Well, here, look, I have it right here. Here's a story. You just sit down and read it. I know how much you like to read. You just sit down and read the story, and you'll really like it. And she said, I said, what? You're right. How about that? It does happen to be in my Bible. Well, isn't that something? Well, you just sit down and read this story, and Mom will go fix you a snack. How about that? So, you know, and one Sunday my son came to me and he wanted to ride to the mall. And I said, well, as you can see, I'm dressed for church, honey. I said, but if you want to get dressed and come to church with me, you can do that. Because, you know, I mean, gas is expensive. And I don't want to drive the whole half a mile home from church to pick you up. And it's just too much. We do live close to the church. But, you know, I try to encourage him as much as I can. We do live out in the country now, which is just a blessing. I love it. We used to live in the city. We used to live on a street called Park Avenue. And it was right by our city zoo, and there was gas stations and convenience stores, and it was just real busy. So, I used to get worried every time my kids would go outside to play. I used to pray, oh, please, God, just keep my kids safe and keep them away from the road. And my kids were old enough to go outside. It wasn't like they were little toddlers and they were crawling out the door. Go outside, just crawl right outside, kids. Mama needs a break. But, they're good kids, but I had to worry. And now we live out in the country, and now I'm telling my kids, won't you go outside and play? Go for a walk in the woods. Praise God that I can say that to them now. And I'll tell you, this is the exact reason why I decided we had to get out of the city. My daughter was in first grade, and my sister came over, and I was sitting and visiting with her, and it got to be after school, and I leaned out and said to my husband, I said, can you please go pick up Jillian because it's after school, and I'm visiting, so I'd just really appreciate it if you could go out and pick her up. He said, sure, I'll go get her. And so I'm visiting with my sister, and I look out, and there's my husband sitting on the couch watching TV. And, I said, oh, honey, will you please go pick up Jillian because school's been out and she's waiting and she really needs a ride home. And I would so appreciate it. So he says, yes, I'll go get her. He gets up and leaves. And, I'm visiting. We didn't live too far from the school. So just a little bit later, my daughter comes walking in the door. And I said, hi, honey, how was your day? She said, oh, it was great, Mom. And I said, where's your daddy? And she said, I don't know. And I said, okay, did he drop you off and leave? No, I walked home, Mom. I said, sure you did. Now, where's your daddy? I don't know, Mom. I walked home. And I said, Jillian, it's not nice to tell lies. And she said, I know, Mama. I walked home. And I said, you mean to tell me you walked down Park Avenue? Yeah. With all the traffic? Uh-huh. And all the people? Yep, sure did. I said, oh, good Lord. I said, Jillian, why don't you go in your room and get changed, and we're going to talk about this. So just then, my husband comes walking in the door, and he says, I didn't see Jillian anywhere. She's not in school. She's not outside of school. Are you sure she didn't go home with a friend today and you just forgot? And I said, Jillian walked home. He said, yeah, sure she did. I said, Jillian walked home. She's in her bedroom right now. And he said, how did she walk home? I said, she walked home because you were late going and picking her up. And how could she be walking home down the sidewalk and you're driving up to the school and you don't even see her? And amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Well, that's it. That's all I got. I hope you liked it. Lots of love. God bless you. Bye-bye.